Beatrix Snapfire is a Smelting originally from the same place as Timbersaw, the Vale of Augury, though later she would frequent the Outlands. While she was a bit of a shady asshole in the past, she has since joined the good side as a baker and is now fighting in the Battle of the Ancients. Let's deep dive into who she was, who she is, and what she means by the Outlands by going through her most important voice lines. From her bio we know that she and her dragon toad, which isn't actually a toad, Mortimer, are sort of guards in Nanarak, the gateway to the Outlands. Nanarak is a desert biome full of roads and oases. She found Mortimer when he was very little and originally was planning on eating him, but they grew a bond that would outlast her old gang. Beadie, as she calls herself, used to be a road agent, which is a kind of criminal that ambushes and robs travelers along roads.
We had a good run of years, truth be told. Road agents aren't known for longevity. Even the best gangs will fall to pieces from excessive death or infighting. I wasn't needlessly cruel, but I did get my hands dirty. And I supplied armaments to folks who caused real harm. Well, I'm sure there's something to learn from it. Most times I feel the less said about those days, the better.
She also was a master smither and supplied weapons to anyone who would pay, regardless of how bad they were. She must have been very scary, since the people who still remembers her old self are very wary of her. Thankfully though, she is good now. She still makes weapons, but has standards about who she sells them to. She has also taken up the hobby of baking, although she sometimes puts in weird secret ingredients that may or may not kill the consumer. In Underlords we get to know she has been to Whitespire before and knew Mama Eve. They were good friends, and Snapfire wants to avenge her death. That means she may be allied with Kunkka and Ren, who are also looking for answers. Ren, mind you, is one of the possible future Underlords and also Mama Eve's daughter. Most of her voice lines are about feeding cookies and other granny things or cheesy puns. She has many voice lines for all other Keen folk, and if you want to know more about the Keen folk, I have a video about all the Keen and their culture and history in the top right corner. But one thing we didn't know at the time of that video was that Timbersaw has an aunt.
It's strange coming home. One of my big sisters settled in the Vale, but that's all gone now. Her little snipper's still running around, but he's had a hard time of it. I see some of the old Keen around a bit, the ones that survived. But they're still scared of me, like back in the day. And while I do assert that their remembrances are a mite exaggerated, I will own up to a smidge of impropriety at a young age. I'm just trying to find my place in the world. If they think I was bad back then, I should give them a taste of what come after. Anywho, I don't know how long I'll stick around. There's trouble brewing. And if I've learned anything, a trusty iron on your side can make all the difference.
Snapfire's dead sister is Timbersaw's mother. And as you know, if you know Timber's lore, his home and also Snapfire's home, Augury Bay, was destroyed by an army of living trees, Lord of Rings Ent style. Very possibly by Tree and Protector's people. It's very likely that Timbersaw's mother and Snapfire's sister was killed during this battle between nature and science. Timbersaw only survives because of his sawsuit and was left mentally scarred forever. Snapfire even refers to him as psychotic and reassures people that it doesn't run in the family, and even tells Tree she doesn't hate him like Timbersaw does. So I doubt Tree and Protector was part of the attack, otherwise she would definitely hold a grudge. We know from Artifact that there's multiple different living tree kind of people, at least 2. The rose-leaf trees look different from Tree and Protectors, and from Iron Branch Protection we know they are separate. Anyways, here's all the Keen voice lines.
You go find your own creeps, Razzle. These ones are mine. Hey, Razzle, I heard how you got out of irons. Inspired. You really like to knock around with this loudmouth? You could do better, Mr. Ogre. I wish I'd been here for your huge failure, Razzle. It must have been a sight to not see. What's the matter, Razzle? Take me for a biddy? Still out here begging for change, Razzle? So much for that business opportunity. I still carry one of your grandfather's timepieces. Quality workmanship. There's a shockingly high amount of trauma in the lives of Keen folk. There's a reason your ancestors made watches instead of guns. Say a prayer for the clockmaker's son. A lot of good your armor does against some shredders. Finally got that old bucket in the air, huh, Oral? You're not gonna give me flack for my absence, are you, Oral? Should have stayed retired, old man. I see you've been working out those table muscles, Oral. I'm quick and you're dead, flyboy. There's flint needs fixing, Cardell. Never thought I'd have to pal on with you again, Cardell. Ugh, I was hoping you'd cashed in your chips by now, Cardell. Should have kept 6 beans in the wheel, Cardell. Never could outgun me, but it took some brass to try the long spoon. Looking for a dance partner? Guess that settles that. Loser. I see your bread jerker bobbing. You scared, Cardell? Sniper, I'm calling you out. How's the soup smell today, boys? You always were the clevery one, Spoony. We really need to get you some help, Rizrak. This is going on too long. The first step is admitting you have a problem, Rizrak. Can you do that? Oh, Rizrak, you never understood why I couldn't stay. If you don't know by now, there's nothing to say. Of course I still love you, but I'll smack you down when you get petulant. Don't go getting sentimental on me. Heard you were after my whereabouts. How's that coming along? Always hate to lose a friend. Could you imagine it? All those years ago, coming to this. Boosh! Didn't expect to light on you in these parts. How'd a couple of old rats like us end up here, Boosh?
Other heroes she has special relationship with is Axe and Disruptor. She seems to really love Axe and has some cute voice lines with him, but she also notes Disruptor is the only good boy Oglodi. We know from this line to Brood that Snapfire herself doesn't have children.
Never had a brood myself.
And from these that she and Invoker likely have known each other for a while.
Aren't you a bowl full of cherries with no pits? Mortimer loves meatballs, just so you know.
Invoker and Axe are also seen in her cookies in her teaser, by the way. But most interestingly is her voice lines with heroes that aren't of this earth. Listen to these lines.
Feel like some flapjacks, Azalor? I heard you want to take a trip off-world. Sorry, I only know about the Outlands. I thought I'd been places.
So she knows Keeper of the Light by name, talks to OD, Spiritbreaker and Earthshaker, and most importantly, listen to these with Void Spirit and Darkseer.
You look mighty familiar, Pointy. We met before? There's something about the shape of your head. I can't put my finger on it. No one seems to know much about you. And your brothers sure are being tight-lipped. People are asking if I'm here with you on account of our simultaneous arrivals. Please disabuse them of the notion.
Now let's listen to her voice lines about the Outlands.
The Outlands are just what simpletons call all the lands beyond the Dread Marsh. I haven't even been to all of them. Far as I can see, these here parts are the Outlands. There's a bigger world out there, full of people that don't even know the Battle of the Ancients may well decide their fates. But they can rest easy. I'm on the job. So, yeah. Here you call them the Outlands, but they all got names. Like Praxasia. That's my favorite. Grimwall, though, they can suck iron. Never saw any other folk like myself. There were some similarities, but they didn't have my knack for tinkering. So, of course, my wares were always in demand. At first, I'd sell to anyone buying. Principles don't get you out of a tight spot. And I sure was in one after crossing the marsh, of course. Lacking convictions while simultaneously manufacturing weapons of mass murder is a pretty good way to find yourself in cahoots with a bad bunch. And me being me, I found the worst.
This, along with her relationship lines earlier, really makes me think that the Outlands aren't just a super barren hidden part of the desert. It's literally out of this land, in a different plane. Maybe where Darkseer and the Hidden Temple is beyond the wall, since she recognizes his head shape. Sir Action's Axe has a really interesting theory about all things purple being in this hidden plane or the void. I will talk more about that in my Void Spirit video, which will be up in a few hours. Until then though, thanks for watching and peace.